Folks, the story is moving fast and furious, and now we must prepare ourselves for what comes next in the Mideast conflicts. And how do we represent the interests of the United States in all this chaos? Here now to break it all down, senior fellow at the Hoover Institution and author of Dying Citizen, Victor Davis Hanson. VDH, good to have you on the spot. Just last couple hours or so, the Hamas leader, not the Palestinian leader, the Hamas leaders are blaming the United States for what's happening in the Middle East. Help us figure that one out.
Yeah, I think we have two issues. We have one with Hamas for its general terrorist activity and the fact that they took Americans, and I don't know quite why we were willing to pay $6 billion for 5 Americans, but we haven't really shown the same degree of interest when Hamas did that. At least it seems to the outsider. The second is we have issues with Iran that go back, as you know, 45 years almost from the hostage taking in Tehran, and they killed a lot of Americans in Iraq during the Iraq War with shape charges. And we had the incident, we had the killing of Soleimani back and forth. They're going to get a nuclear weapon. I think that was the design, basically, of the Obama administration to empower Iran with a Shia crescent to balance Israel and the Saudi Arabians. Kind of a crazy idea. But so that's another issue. And now they're converged. And I don't think Iran understands, or Hamas understands, that the usual rhetoric doesn't apply anymore because Russia's tied down in Ukraine. China is very worried about its oil supplies. It doesn't want disruption. And people in Israel, there's no restraint on Israel for the first time in our lives. Nobody's going to say, you can't do that. They may say it, but nobody's going to listen to them.
May I jump in here, Victor?
Go ahead.
Tomorrow, will Biden say that? Now, he's headed to Israel tomorrow to sit down with Bibi Netanyahu. I'm guessing the full-out ground assault on Gaza by Israel has been put on hold until Biden gets there and has a discussion. But will Biden tell him to stand down? What should we expect from that?
Yeah, I think he may well, but I don't think it's going to resonate. Not when you've killed 1,400, mostly civilians, and mutilated them and desecrated them. We've never seen anything like that. Israel cannot afford to pull back. They understand one central truth about the Middle East. If they do not want Hezbollah to intervene or Iran to, then they've got to crush Hamas. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but if they show any hesitation or they fail, then Hezbollah will pile in like a rabid dog. And they have to show that they're going to go medieval on Hamas. Otherwise, everybody in the Middle East will say, we're going to go with a strong horse. And we have to help that as much as we can. And if Hezbollah, if anybody, I mean, we've got 2 big sitting targets out there, and there's 1,000 rockets in Lebanon. And don't think that 1,000 rocket barrage couldn't do damage to our ships. They're not invulnerable with that type of number of missiles. So we've got to be very careful, and we have to decide in advance if those ships or any of our assets are attacked, we're going to reply disproportionately to maintain deterrence. So I don't think Iran and Hamas, I think they think it's the usual Middle East, and it's not. The whole world has changed radically in the last year or two, and it's not to their advantage. It's not to their advantage. I don't see it.
So what in the hell is the American president going to do over there to send that message, other than make it worse for the Israelis to go, as you say, go nuclear on them, or whatever the line. It was great, but isn't he just going to get in the way of already Mahmoud Abbas and the Palestinian Authority? They're pulling out. Where the hell is Iran in this, Victor? I think he's going to screw this whole thing up. Am I wrong?
Well, I think I was not. I don't think you understood what I'm saying, but it was my fault. I don't think what Joe Biden is going to say is going to mean anything, because there's 2 realities. One, there's the biggest carrier of task force and surrounding ships we've seen in our lifetime right off the coast of Lebanon. And then there's Israel that suffered an historic, greatest terrorist massacre since the Holocaust. That's new. And when you have that type of investment right off the coast of Lebanon and it's ready to do something, if they strike at all, it's sitting out there like a big target. And Joe Biden, it won't matter. He won't be able to stop a retaliation. So when Iran says it's going to do this and it's going to do that, and Hezbollah's, what are they going to do? They're either going to attack Israel or attack us. And it's not going to work either way, because there's no restraints on either one of us if they do that. And I think they know that. That's why Iran keeps saying that we want to do this and we want to do that. But oh, by the way, we didn't plan it. We weren't responsible for it. We love what happened, but we were not responsible. That's why Hamas is, oh, we're going to kill everybody. We're going to do all this. But you know what? We'll negotiate maybe with hostages sometime.
Victor,
So they know what's coming.
Talk to us about this recent, in the last couple hours or so, the leader of Hezbollah saying that tomorrow will be the day of unprecedented anger. What does that mean?
We'll see. I mean, the thing about the Middle East is when you say things like that and they don't happen, there's no consequences. So he can say all he wants. We were told, if you go back and look what we were told about Day of Jihad, we were told that this is going to shake the Arab world and the streets are going to flow with blood all over the West and Europe. We heard all that. I don't think they understand right now. When they look to the UN, it's irrelevant now. Nobody cares. They look at Europe. Macron's not going to say, oh, please. They'll give lip service, of course, about civilian casualties, but nobody's going to worry about what the Israelis do. And to be frank, and I don't want to be too cynical, but you know that better than I do, Eric, that if they destroy Hamas, the Saudis, the Jordanians, and the Egyptians are going to do two things. They're going to say, we damn the Zionist killers. We're at war with them. And then secretly they're going to call them up and say, finish the job.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly.
We all know that.
Yeah.
We know, everybody knows that.
Victor, going to leave it right there. Always good to have you on. And, man, these foreign policy issues are tenuous and good to have someone break it down for us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.